Hey everyone, my name is Rohan Bijou, and today we're gonna look at the M1 Mac Mini. So if you aren't familiar with the Mac Mini, I'll explain it in the simplest terms possible. So it's basically the M1 MacBook or an M1 iMac without the display. Yep, that's pretty much it. It has all the components in it. It has the microphone, speaker, has the M1 chip in it, has ports, but it just doesn't have a display. And you can connect this to any monitor. And I particularly find this helpful if you don't like the MacBook display or the iMac display. You can choose the Apple Pro XDR display and connect that to that. Or you can, get any monitor of your choice. I have a bunch, you can click the icon above. I have a bunch of monitor reviews, you can go check them out. And in this video, I'm actually gonna do an unboxing in the beginning, and I actually bought this from Costco and they're running an offer. You could save $70. And then I'm gonna give you the specs for this product, and then I'm going to give you my final thoughts and what I actually think about it. Okay, so let's begin the video. And before that, please take time to subscribe to my channel to watch my future content, and please hit the like button if you found this video helpful. So without further ado, welcome to Techno Review. Okay, so let's begin the unboxing. So the box looks amazing. Apple's designs have always been awesome. Okay, so let's remove the plastic wrap around the box and see what's inside. And in the beginning itself, you see the Mac Mini itself, and there's a tab to pull it open. So let's take that out, and it looks amazing. It's actually silver finish. There isn't a space gray, which is a bummer, but there is only silver. It looks pretty good, but I would have preferred a space gray. And the structure of the Mac Mini itself is very similar to the aluminum casing of a MacBook or MacBook Pro. And there's also covering on top of the ports. Let's remove that. And as you can see, there is the power port, there is an Ethernet port, and then there are two Thunderbolt or USB 4 ports. There is an HDMI 2.0 port, and there are two USB-A ports and a 3.5mm headphone jack. And also you can see there on the left, there is a power button. I would have preferred it to be in the front. It's easier to reach and turn on, and let's keep the Mac Mini aside. So let's look in the box and take out the paperwork. As you can see, this is the paperwork for the Mac Mini. And then there is also a sticker, and that's silver, and it is reflective. I like how they match the color of the sticker to the product they're selling. And let's keep them aside. And then finally, you get a power cord, and that's just used to power the computer itself. And that's pretty much it. You don't get anything else in the Mac Mini box. Unfortunately, you will need a separate keyboard or mouse. It's not provided with the Mac Mini, which is a downside. But I would have preferred if they could have at least provided a keyboard and mouse with it. So let's keep that aside, and obviously I'm gonna start setting up and gonna start using it for a couple of days, and I'll let you know how it is. So before that, I wanna give you the specs for this Mac Mini. And I got the base model from Costco. I got this for about $600, but if you do buy this from the Apple Store for its regular price, you get it for $670. You obviously save $70 if you buy it from Costco. And here, obviously I said before, this is the base model, and this has 256 gigabytes of storage, 8 gigabytes of RAM. Obviously has the M1 chip, which is obviously faster, the fastest chip Apple has ever produced. It's way faster than the Intel. And I'm actually moving from the 2020 iMac to the Apple M1 Mac Mini, but I've used an M1 MacBook Air before, and just gotta say, it runs way better than the iMac I currently have. And I'm actually pretty excited to use the M1 Mac Mini. So let's continue with the specs. You can also get a higher end version of the M1 Mac Mini for about $900, and this has 512 gigabytes of SSD. And the Apple M1 chip itself has an 8-core CPU with 4 performance cores and 4 efficiency cores, and it has an 8-core GPU and a 16-core neural engine. And the memory, as I said before, it's 8 gigabytes of unified memory, and it's configurable to up to 16 gigabytes. Storage for the base model is 256 gigabytes, and for a higher end version, it's 512 gigabytes. And obviously you can upgrade, and it's configurable to 1 terabyte to 2 terabytes of storage. And this Mac Mini can support 2 displays, like one display for 6K resolution in 60 Hertz when you connect it via Thunderbolt, and via the HDMI 2.0 you can get a 4K resolution at 60 Hertz. And the audio itself in the Mac Mini, there is a built-in speaker, there is 3.5mm headphone jack, and there's obviously an HDMI 2.0 port that supports multi-channel audio output. And I'll let you know how it sounds after I started using it. And obviously there is Ethernet, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 5.0, and if you want faster internet, always use Ethernet. That's always the best choice. And if you want to know if this fits in your desk area, the height of the Mac Mini is 1.4 inches, which is 3.6 centimeters. Width is 7.7 inches, which is 19.7 centimeters. Depth is 7.7 inches, which is 19.7 centimeters. And the weight is 2.6 pounds. And that is basically it, all the specs you need when you purchase this M1 Mac Mini. So I'm gonna use this Mac Mini now, and I'm gonna test it out and let you know how the experience is. So let's get started. Okay, I've used it for some time. Gotta say, it's amazing. When you're switching from something that's way slower, you can immediately see the change. And it's pretty amazing. And I've actually had the same experience with the M1 MacBook Air. It's just mind-blowing that how fast it could get. So obviously I've used it, I've done some video editing on it, I used it day to day. And as you can see, I actually used a certain monitor called the MSI Optics, and I've made a review on it. You can see it in the iCard above, so you can go check it out if you want a similar monitor. Or I have a playlist for different monitors I reviewed, so you can go check that out. And if you're watching the video so far, and if you found this helpful, please subscribe to the channel to support me and watch my future videos. So back to the video. I really enjoyed this. It's way faster. When you first turn on the Mac Mini itself, it will ask you to pair a Bluetooth, a mouse, or a keyboard, preferably an Apple Bluetooth keyboard or a trackpad or a mouse. You can obviously wire it to the Mac Mini itself using the ports, and it'll connect it. And one thing I didn't really enjoy is that the ports were on the back. It may seem weird, but I would have preferred it if it was in the front, because it's really accessible. You can just plug it in instead of like reaching around, plugging it in. It's just a hassle. And also the power button is also on the back, which also is the hassle. If it was on the top, if like the Apple logo itself was a button, would have liked that. And the Mac Mini didn't take up much room, and it looked pretty stylish. I really enjoyed it. It looks really clean, perfect, minimalistic. I didn't have any trouble with the ports. For some people, they may need an extra dongle to like extend the ports, but I didn't see much problem with that. I really enjoyed it. Something I was really skeptical about was the heating and like the sound that it would produce, but it was really quiet. Even when I tested it to the limits, I really tested it, and even it was like if it was regularly turned on, it was really quiet, and I barely noticed it. You wouldn't even know it was on, which is pretty insane. And obviously, when I like use my MacBook or my iMac to the limits, it just sounds like an airplane taking off. And I personally don't have any complaints about the operating system or like how it would function. It's just the design or like where the ports are placed. And I think it's a really good computer. If you're switching from an older Mac, this would be a perfect opportunity to switch, because it's getting really fast and it would be really helpful. It'll be a game changer for you because you can open apps like really fast, edit stuff really fast, and do like apps that take up a lot of power. That takes a lot of power. And it does it really quickly, which is pretty nice. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. So thank you all for watching the video. And if you did find this video helpful, a sub to the channel would be amazing. And if you like this video and you found this helpful, please leave a like. And thank you all for watching. Catch you in the next one. Peace.